My pastor tried to sleep with me. This pastor met me when I was like 7, 8 years old. He baptized me. Him and my father were at one point sort of kind of like best friends.
The world is full of corrupt pastors, but also like where the issue lies at is when we don't hold pastors to the scriptures. 1 Timothy 3:2, an overseer then must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, temperate, prudent, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not addicted to wine or pugnacious, but gentle, peaceable, free from the love of money. He must be one who manages his own household well, keeping his children under control with all dignity. But if a man does not know how to manage his own household, how will he take care of the church of God? And not a new convert, so that he will not become conceited and fall into the condemnation incurred by the devil. And he must have a good reputation with those outside of the church, so that he will not fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Jeremiah 3:15, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Titus 1:5, for this reason I left you in Crete, that you would set in order what remains and appoint elders in every city as I directed you. Namely, if any man is above reproach, the husband of one wife, having children who believe, not accused of dissipation or rebellion, for the overseer must be above reproach as God's steward, not self-willed, not quick-tempered, not addicted to wine, not pugnacious, not fond of sordid gain, but hospitable, loving what is good, sensible, just, devout, self-controlled, holding fast the faithful word, which is in accordance with the teaching, so that he will be able both to exhort in sound doctrine and to refute those who contradict. And then we got Acts 20:28. Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock, over the which the Holy Ghost has made you overseers, to feed the church of God, which he hath purchased with his own blood. So we see there's some qualifications here, and I just seen this story this morning and I want to share it with y'all. Check this foolishness out.
My pastor tried to sleep with me. I do have to give you a backstory so you can understand the severity of this situation. This did not happen at my current church. This happened maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. For obvious reasons, I couldn't speak about it then. It's too fresh, and I honestly was going to keep it to myself, outside of anybody else that went to the church from finding out, especially his children. His wife is my mother's cousin. What does that make us? Cousins, I guess? Cousin-in-laws? I don't know. But he was family. I don't just mean like a mere relative. Like, this is someone who we went to the beach with, we would go out to eat with. His children were super close to me and my siblings. We were heavily in the church. So we saw him and his family all the time. So to dive a little deeper, my mom is a minister. So outside of whenever he would preach, let's say he had to go preach at another church, or maybe was out of town or was sick, that's when my mother would step in and she would preach in his place. We grew up in the church probably like 5 to 6 days a week, from choir rehearsal to praise dance to Bible study to church outside the walls. We even did Bible study outside of church, and she like planted a very deep, heavy seed of faith into me and my siblings, her and my father. And I obviously thank God for that, because that is one of the main reasons why I was able to develop a real relationship with Jesus now. Suddenly, one day, we just up and left the church. This pastor met me when I was like 7, 8 years old. So he's known me since I was a little girl. He baptized me. Him and my father were at one point sort of kind of like best friends. I had to explain that part so you can see how sick he is. If there's anybody watching this video that knows me in real life and grew up with me, obviously you know what pastor that I'm talking about. I don't know how far this video is going to get. I don't know if this video is going to get a lot of views. I don't know. But in the event that it does, I'm not sorry for saying any of this at all. I do apologize to his children because I know that this is probably the first time that you're hearing about this. I'm not going to say his name, obviously, or put any pictures or anything like that. Let's continue. Now that you have the backstory, again, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. At the time this happened, I was like 20 years old and I'm 25 now. This was around the time where OF was getting really popular. It wasn't exactly popular yet for what it's known for.
And if y'all don't know what OF is, that's Onlyfans.
But it was around that time where it was getting there. When it comes to certain situations, I look at things for what they are and not what they are portrayed to be. Looking on there, of course, OF doesn't promote itself as that type of app. So when I made it, this was around the time I was heavily chasing my music career. If you know me, you know I used to rap and sing and all of that stuff, and I was heavily trying to pursue being a rapper and a singer. I was deep into my music career, like really trying to thrive and make a living off of it. When I saw OF, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a perfect outlet to put all of my behind the scenes content on here, exclusive music videos, photo shoots, never before seen photos or unedited photos from my photo shoots. I had this whole big plan to put all of that stuff that I didn't normally share with my supporters or my Instagram followers on there. That is what I was using OF for. I promise you, that was it and that was all. So on my Facebook, only my family is on there. There may be a few of my friends or associates or people I went to high school with, but for the most part, it was only like family members. I posted the OF link on there and I specifically put in the caption what was on there. So just thinking about that, even if I was doing that type of OF content, why on God's green earth would I post it on Facebook for my entire family to see? If I was doing that type of content, obviously I'm not gonna put it on Facebook. I get this Facebook message from my pastor. He's like, oh, like, wow, like you have an OF. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm posting all of my music videos. I had a music video that I had just shot that I didn't release yet. I was giving like my supporters and like my family and stuff a first look at that music video. None of my music videos were explicit or anything. Yes, I was definitely cursing and stuff, but none of my music videos had nothing crazy in it. So then I get a new subscriber. My family, they're really good about supporting my music. So this was not uncommon. I didn't find this weird. I was actually like, oh my gosh, I'm getting another subscriber. There was only like 5 things on there: the music video and like the behind the scenes of that music video. So he liked all of them, and then he inboxed me and he said, oh, I have a question. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And he was like, is this the only content that you post on there? And I was like, well, that's all the content I have on there for now. I'm getting ready to post some other behind the scenes from this other photo shoot that I just did. So I don't know when I'm gonna upload it, but I'm gonna upload that on there soon. Then I'm also shooting another music video soon, and that's gonna be up there as well. So I tell him that, and he was like, oh, okay, that's it, LOL. And I was like, yeah. Mind you, I did not know that OF was turning into a P app. Was completely oblivious to it, and not only that, it was still on the rise. Like, it wasn't predominantly that yet, and if it was, I had no clue, because I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm reading his message like, yeah, that's it. Like, what do you mean? I'm thinking he's about to give suggestions about other type of music content that I can put on there or something like that. But he comes out and say like, oh, you ever thought about doing any other type of content for it? And I was like, any other type of content like what? At this point, I'm starting to say, surely he's not talking about that. Surely he's not talking about that. There's no way he's talking about that. So I'm just in denial right now because, like I said, he is in the family. This man watched me grow up, and my siblings and him and my daddy at one point was like this. Also, like I said, we did up and stop going to this church out of nowhere, and we joined a different church. My parents, they never told us why. They never told us what happened. We kind of knew something happened, but they never told us why we stopped going. Remember that, because it's going to be important later. It was like, LOL, you know what content I'm talking about. Nobody wants to see the content that you have on there now. Like, who's going to subscribe to see that? So I'm like,
what?
I didn't know how to respond, but at the same time, I didn't want to run with a narrative where I think he's talking about something and maybe he's not. So I didn't accuse him of anything. I just left the message alone. I didn't respond to it. Then he double texted me like an hour later, and he said, oh, I could pay you for the type of content that I want to see. Right there.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Preacher man. Lord have mercy.
I'm like, he's definitely talking about what I think he's talking about. I still wasn't running with it because I didn't have proof. He didn't come out and say that. And if anything got out, I knew that he could deny it. Because back then, the church folk that he had surrounding him were like die-hard churchgoers who would back him up to the ends of the earth. If I ever would have came out with this, I would have had to have severe, concrete audio and video proof of this. That's how deep they was going for him. I'm like, what type of content are you talking about? And then he says, I want to see you naked.
Oh.
Literally said, did you mean to send me this? And he was like, yeah, LOL. And I was like, do you know who this is? This is Blank's daughter. I said my father's name. He was like, yeah, I know who this is. I know who this is, LOL. Like, I just want to see some content of X, Y, and Z. He then started being descriptive with the type of content he wanted to see and even made an offer to see me in person. And so I was like, so you know that this is Blank's daughter? And he says, yeah. And I was like, this is Shawnee, like little Shawnee. And he was like, yeah, I know who you is. You ain't no little girl no more, LOL. I immediately
Preacher man.
called my father. Immediately called my parents. And when I got them on the phone, I was crying. Because I'm like, there's just no way that this man who's supposed to be family, who literally saw me grow up, like, dude, like, you baptized me and my siblings. You were in my house. I used to spend the night at his house with his daughter. I'm like, wow, like, you really is a creep. Both of my parents was livid, but they also had this side in their voice where they weren't surprised. I was like, why kind of sound like y'all not that surprised? Like, of course they was extremely mad, but they wasn't that, like, surprised. We're still talking on the phone, and I go back to the messages because I'm like, oh, nah, I need to show them proof. Of course, the messages are gone. All you see is everything he ever said unsent. I had no proof, but of course, my daddy and my parents, you know, they believed me. Of course, they're not those type of parents. They believed me. That's when I got the explanation on why we really left the church. Something else actually transpired after it came out. The story gets worse. So I know some of y'all are very eager for me to get into part 2 of the story, but before I do that, I have to address a few things because I was reading y'all comments. First and foremost, my OnlyFans was definitely made only for my music and my behind the scenes content. If you don't believe that, I really don't know what to say, but I have no reason to lie about what my account was for. I honestly don't care who believes me or who thinks I'm lying. God knows the truth. God knows I'm not lying. My parents believe me. My family that I shared this with, they believe me. So that's really all that matters to me. I really don't care or need validation from any of you that think I'm lying. I don't care. I also want to address the comments that I'm seeing talking about hiding and protecting his identity. Here's the thing. I agree with y'all. I definitely do believe that this needs to be exposed and talked about more. Everybody could get on the internet talking about everything, sharing tips and hacks about everything else. But when it comes to stuff like this, nobody wants to speak up. So I do agree with y'all that this needs to be said. However, this is still my life, and this is not going to only affect me if I were to do that. I don't even know how deep this situation goes. I can't hop on here and just outright and expose his entire identity without my family somehow being affected as well. And at the end of the day, I care about protecting the identity of my family, and I don't care how none of y'all feel about it. But on the flip side, I do still believe that it needs to be said and it needs to be exposed, because I don't know what other girl might have gotten affected by this. I have no idea if he's still doing this. 9 times out of 10, he probably still is. If I'm being honest with you, over these years, I do feel bad looking back at it, like, dang, like, should I have like exposed him? Because what if he did something worse? So I do agree with y'all, but it's one of those situations where I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect this story to blow up this big. And for those of you saying, why are you choosing to share it now? Why did you wait 5 years? And why even share the story at all? Because this is my account and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about on here. That's why. Everybody can share all of their experiences on here, but as soon as somebody get on here and start talking about something real, people want to be quick to saying, oh, why did you post this? Why did you talk about this? Like, oh, what's the point? What's the point? I can share my story. I do feel inclined to reveal who he is, because after hearing about other stuff that people are saying, I do think he's very sick and something needs to be done, but I still have to use wisdom. For those of you who have a relationship with God and you follow the Lord, you know that you have to seek God with everything that you do. I initially posted this video. I wasn't looking to say, oh my gosh, I can definitely get viral for this. Like, I want some likes and I want to do this and that. I didn't make this video for clout. I already had like 25K on here. I already had a little following on Instagram, so I didn't need followers. Look at it how you want, but I'm gonna talk about whatever I want to talk about on my account. When it comes to revealing his identity, like I said in the first part, if you're watching this and you know me, you know who it is. So it's not like I'm protecting him. I see how y'all think I'm protecting him by not saying who it is, but you also have to remember, I don't have proof. So let's say I did show who it was. People are going to be on there like, oh, where's the proof? You can't prove he did it. The account where he sent me these messages, I no longer have. Again, this was 5 years ago. I don't even have that same phone. I no longer have that Facebook account, so I can even show y'all that he unsent those messages. So I don't have anything but my word. Getting on here and showing y'all somebody and saying he did X, Y, and Z and I have no proof. I know there's some people that'll still believe me, but there are also some people that won't. He could very well be a predator and doing something way worse than I think. And I don't have no proof to back that up. So I have to be very careful with how I portray this situation. I was saying, why are you telling us? Why did you bring this to the internet? It's just one of those things where you're telling a story time. You're not really looking for anything to come out of it. And it just so happened to just go viral. People out here are crazy. I'm thinking about, what if I say that and then they tie it back to my family and people try to like start harassing my family? Like, my family owns businesses. They have real lives. It's a lot of stuff tied into here. I have a lot of brothers and sisters too. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. So I will say I didn't expect it to get this big, but it is what it is now. So diving into the rest of the story, when I called my parents and I tried to go back and show them the messages and they were gone, of course they felt the way that the messages were gone, but they still believed me regardless. Like, I'm not one of those people that's just gonna lie. I believe in maintaining and upholding my integrity, especially in situations like this, and they know that I'm not gonna lie about something like that, especially given the knowledge that they already had. That's when my mother revealed to me that the reason we left the church was because God showed her and revealed to her that he was operating under the spirit of perversion. And from there, she knew that means she had to leave the church and take her kids with her. So right after God revealed that to her, that's why we left the church. He did tell me that a few people have came up to her and confided in her about him, and all of that stuff just led up to us leaving the church altogether. When we left the church, I was young. We weren't at the age to where we would understand stuff like that, or where she was going to break down stuff like that. Like, me and my siblings, we were young. So we just left the church and found a new church. And that was just it. As kids, you're not really going to question it. Of course, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, why we leave the church? But you're not going to like think deep into it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't even reveal to me the identity of the people that came up to her and, you know, exposed him to her and their situation. She did not tell me their identity or even give me details of their situation, but she told me enough to show that it was that bad. So I was like, oh my goodness, really? And they just started expanding on it. And I'm talking to one of my cousins about it, and she's telling me how her mom experienced stuff with him, with certain nasty comments that he made. I want to explain more details, but I can't really speak on other people's experiences and what happened with them, because I didn't get consent to really tell someone else's story. So I have to keep stuff like that kind of vague and only explain exactly like my side. After that situation happened, a few months, maybe 2 to 3 months passed, and someone in my mom's family was having a birthday party or birthday something. It was a birthday celebration for someone in my mom's family, and we went. And of course, there was the possibility that he was going to be there. My parents did not know, but I told them I didn't want to go just in case he was going to be there. I ended up going anyway because my siblings was going, my dad was going, my mom was going, so I'm like, okay, I might as well go. If he's there, I know I'll be safe and protected because my daddy with me. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. We pull up, and of course, he's there. He's there with his wife and I think a couple of his kids. I don't know if his daughter was there or not, but I do remember seeing his 2 sons were there. My dad instantly got angry all over again. The way that my father wanted to react, he couldn't. If you are a father, you can understand how a father would want to react hearing something like that.
Yeah.
This is a man that you was cool with, basically best friends with, and he made a pass on your daughter, and you found out about it, and he tried to like do some little creep stuff.
Oh, he needs some milk.
Get over here!
People of God, my daughter just turned 13, and yeah. That'd be a no for me. It would take a lot of temperance and prayer for me not to, you know what I'm talking about? A lot of temperance and prayer.
Imagine how a father would react to that. When my daddy saw him, of course, he instantly got pissed off all over again. The way he wanted to react, he couldn't, because my father has other children to raise, and that would have meant he would have went to prison for doing something. And I'm actually very surprised that my dad kept his composure the way he did and maintained self-control, because the situation could have got really, really worse.
Temperance.
Someone else there that's related to my mom saw him very, very, very emotional, very angry, and pulled him to the side like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? And my dad told him exactly what happened. So now he's upset because he also had his children around this man as well. Now they're like trying to figure out how to approach him at this birthday party. Again, I can't remember if it was a birthday party or maybe a family reunion or something. It was some type of event. I said hey to a few family members, and then I just went and sat in the car. I was just so uncomfortable, especially when I saw my daddy and this other individual getting really upset, and both of them was like, nah, man, like, we need to go say something. Like, the next thing I knew, we see him leaving, and that was that. There was no fight that broke out at the party. He ended up leaving before it could get to that point. I have been hearing that his wife knows, and that she is choosing to turn a blind eye, and she is in denial of what her husband is doing. I have heard that multiple times, actually, that she is aware of what he's doing. So for those of you saying, what about his wife and what she has to do with? Apparently his wife knows, and she's not doing absolutely anything about it. I never told his wife. Me and her never really had a close relationship to where I could just like hit her up. I didn't even have her phone number. Like, I was only really close with her daughter. And I'm not gonna lie, think whatever you want, but I did not even feel comfortable telling her. How do you tell someone you're close with that their father is a creep and a sicko? Right. Me and her kind of fell off. We didn't beef or anything like that, but we did like lose contact and weren't really talking like that. I can only imagine how it would feel hearing that your father is a predator and a sicko. So I don't know. I should have spoke up, but I'll be honest, I wasn't as brave back then to just face his daughter and his wife and say, yeah, your husband or your daddy tried to sleep with me. To make matters worse and add on to all of that, maybe like a year later, I ended up moving back in with my parents for a short period of time, and his son actually reached out to me. I think we were talking about my music or something. I can't remember why he reached out to me. He was like, oh yeah, we should meet up if you want, like we could hang out. I didn't see anything wrong with it at first because me and my siblings were super close with him. But then he texted me really late one day and asked if I was up. I was like, yeah, what's up? And he says, oh, I wanted to show you something. Yes, it's going there. I'm like, show me what? He sends an eggplant emoji. I was like, we're cousins. And keep in mind, I did not tell him his dad tried to have sex with me and get naked pictures and stuff. I didn't even tell him that. So this runs in the family. This is a family affair.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
It runs in the family. Oh my Lord.
It's a family thing at this point. Now I started feeling like, okay, so maybe y'all all know, and all of y'all sick. All of y'all some creeps. I know some of y'all probably like, oh, she all over the place. She can't tell a story time. Baby, you could keep scrolling. You don't gotta be here. But I'm gonna back up some more because I do have to specify something else. My mom that I'm talking about, the minister, she's actually my stepmother. So that makes her family not blood related to me. The pastor's son, in his head, we're not cousins by blood, so I guess that's why he felt comfortable enough to think that I would want to do something with him. It's like, Jit, I've known you since you was like 5 years old, and we grew up as cousins. I don't care if it's by marriage or blood, we're still family. That's disgusting. After that, I blocked him, and I went ahead and told the daughter. Now, the daughter in question, the pastor's daughter in question, she is the oldest. So I immediately told her after that. I screenshotted that, and I showed the daughter, and I was like, yeah, this is what your brother is sending me. And she was like, oh, I'm so disgusted. I'm gonna have a talk with him. And that was pretty much all that she said. She literally never got back with me. I did not tell her about her daddy. I know that would have been a perfect time to say something, but I didn't go as far as to tell her about her daddy, because again, in my head back then, I'm like, dang, I don't have the proof. I don't have the screenshots to show them. My parents believe me regardless, but anybody else, I just felt that they were not gonna believe what I'm saying because I didn't have proof. I don't remember her apologizing for it. And of course, the son never apologized. The pastor, the dad, he definitely never apologized. He's actually still a pastor today. Say what you want, but this is something I have to pray on about revealing his identity, because telling a story is one thing. Sharing my experience is one thing. Talking about something I went through is one thing. But putting people's names and locations and revealing identities and all of that stuff, that's a whole nother thing. If I go out and do that, this is going to open up something huge. And if I'm being honest, this is one of them things where I didn't think this through, to where I'm like, oh, what if it goes viral and then I might have to like take it further. I'll be honest and say I didn't think that far. I did talk to my parents before I made this part 2, and I let them know like, hey, I shared what Pastor so-and-so did, and the video now seems to be going viral. Do y'all think I should expose his identity and tell everybody who it is? And my parents told me to hold off on it and pray about it, because this is a situation that is serious. This could literally expose him for anything else he probably doing and bring it to the light. And I really want to be the one to help that situation, but I want to do it in a way that is not going to damage my family. But I'm also thinking about the other victims and the other people who could be a victim. I'm not calling myself a victim. He didn't touch me. Who knows if somebody else actually have experienced something with him to where it got that far, or they were groomed or coerced or even SA'd. If I feel led to reveal his identity and this situation gets that big, and if God puts it on my heart and leads me to reveal it, I'm most definitely going to do it. Again, if you don't believe me, I don't care. Another thing with the whole OnlyFans comment, y'all have to remember, OnlyFans was not made to be that type of app. People turned it into that. So for y'all thinking that, oh, what else did you think he was gonna say? Like, are you dumb? Like, are you stupid? That app was not originally supposed to be that. Come on now, everybody on here is not sick and twisted and full of lust and perversion and trying to get their rocks off. Like, there's literally people that have whole cooking shows on there and sharing a whole bunch of other content, but this generation is so led by lust and just freaked out that you just gotta believe everybody that's on there is doing sexual acts. Like, that's crazy to me. Like I said, I did not make it with the intention of sending the mixed message that I was doing X, Y, and Z. Because I seen somebody comment that's like, oh, what did you think he was gonna say? Were y'all like not listening to the story time? Like, were y'all not paying attention to what I said? I literally said, I posted on my Facebook and told them what was on there. So how could he have even got the notion that it was anything else on there? Some of y'all not even using y'all common sense and fully listening. Y'all just trying to nitpick the story. That's pretty much it. Once I saw that the video was starting to get more views, I did ask my parents like, okay.
I personally think that the reason why that man went about it like that is because he's looking at some other stuff on OnlyFans. And he's seen that since she done joined the community, amongst the other brethren, he can probably get that out of her and whatnot. But I don't know. That's trash, bro. That's trash. I don't know what kind of pastor this is.
Like, what do y'all think that I should do? And they said that they support me 100% with whatever I decide to do. I'm gonna pray on it some more, because this is something that could potentially open up a legal issue. And that's just that on that. Like, I'm not hiding or protecting this man at all. I really could care less about his reputation, to be honest. No one's trying to protect this man. I wasn't going with it. I'm thinking about everything else that's going to transpire as a result of revealing his identity, because it is going to come with a lot more. And that's what y'all not understanding. Like, I know y'all just scrolling on TikTok, but this is actually like real life. Like, I want to leave this last message for those of you who are saying that this is why you left the church and y'all don't want to be Christians because of it and X, Y, and Z. I understand having bad experiences and stuff, but please do not let that ruin having a relationship with God, with Jesus. We are still human. At the end of the day, you're not going to church for the pastor or for anybody there. You're going there for Jesus Christ. You're going there to serve and worship the Lord. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad pastors out there that are doing similar things, if not worse.
Yeah.
That's just the reality that we live in. Bad people exist, evil people exist, twisted, sick people exist.
Yeah.
You just have to use discernment and know what church to be a part of. You join a church and they so happen to be some sickos, you know to remove yourself, and that's just that on that. But don't let that be the reason why you walk away from God, because God didn't do it, the pastor did it.
Right.
There's a lot of pastors that are disguising themselves as men of God, and they're really sick and twisted. So I do want to leave y'all with that. The Lord is still good. God is still good. Jesus is still good. He still saves. He's waiting on you to make a relationship with him. Don't let a pastor or nobody's actions keep you from getting to know God and the Lord for yourself. This situation is bigger than me. Thank you to the women who are out there sharing your stories with me. I see you. I hear you. Thank you to everybody that's commenting in support of me. I want to say, Pastor Newbie, I'm sorry to your family that this is happening this way. But God works in mysterious ways. And if God is using this situation to get his word out, so be it. If y'all want to sue me, if your family want to come for me, come with it. I am protected by the Lord. I have a beautiful family that's backing me. If God can be for me, can't nobody be against me. I urge y'all to repent and get your lives right. God is still working on me. I have work to do. I do have work to do. I do. I still struggle. Like all of y'all, I'm not perfect. None of us are Jesus. I still struggle. All of the victims that are out there, I know what it feels like to be assaulted. And I know what it feels like to not be heard, to try to get justice and it doesn't work and they drop the ball. Just know that God is in control. Trust him with your life. Give him your life. We are in the end times. Time is out for debates. If God wants to use me to get his word out, I'm gonna do it. I don't got nothing to sell y'all. God gets all the glory. So again, if y'all want to sue me, I hope that y'all are fully prepared for what's going to come with that. Because if you are doing something, and there are other people who have stories, which I'm pretty sure.
Wait a minute. Y'all see that car pull up like that?
If y'all want to sue me, I hope that y'all are fully prepared for what's going to come with that. Because if you are doing something, and there are other people who have stories, which I'm pretty sure there is, I hope that y'all are ready for that to come out. Pastor Newbie, I don't want your money. Or if that's Lolo, Laura Newbie,
I don't like stuff
Kendra
like that.
Newbie,
My bad,
Artist Newbie Jr., I don't want y'all money. I know that God has me protected. I know that my family is backing me. I serve a mighty God. I'm just coming into this relationship with Jesus, and I'm learning what walking with Jesus really looks like. There are souls that need to be saved. Yes, I still be cursing sometimes. Yes, I still be listening to secular music sometimes. Yes, sometimes I pick up a drink. Yes, I still wear crop tops. Yes. I'm still being worked on. God is still working on me and changing my heart. I'm trying. I want to live a life that's pleasing to the Lord. So many people are afraid of being judged and their past coming out, and fear is keeping people bound, keeping people from going to God and giving their lives to the Lord. And I'm tired of being scared. God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So I urge you, fast, repent, pray, turn from your wicked ways. If you one of them pastors doing God knows what, stop it, bro. It's gonna come out. God is gonna expose it. Whatever you think you doing in the dark that you think nobody's gonna find out about, it's gonna come to the light. God don't play about his people.
And you better not let Global Impact see it. Huh?
This is gonna fade away. Can't none of y'all make me feel bad about my past. I've already gone to the Father and repented. Have you? I appreciate those of you who made me aware that although my intention may not be to lead a man to sin, we still have a responsibility to represent Jesus Christ. Get rid of them idols. The Lord hates idolatry. Just so we clear, I serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you don't know God, get to know him. Let this be your sign. All of that stuff you doing that's of the world, give it up. It's not worth it. If Jesus come back tomorrow, are you going to be ready? And I'm not only saying this to y'all, but I'm speaking to myself. For those of you who don't believe in Jesus, y'all can save them think pieces. And I'm going to pray for you. Thank y'all for the support.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Get over here!
What kind of pastor is this? First of all, you got a man bun on top and the rest is shaved. You got a ring on every finger like you a pharaoh in Egypt. Come on, boy. Lord have mercy.
What? Oh, he needs some milk.
Hey, y'all, this story crazy, boy. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.